So how's it going, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the channel. Today guys, we're doing a Master Duel deck profile and we are gonna talk about the P.U.N.K Therion deck. Last video, people wanted me to make a P.U.N.K Therion deck. Now there are problems with regards to that deck. First of all, Therions tend to brick if you have more copies of Therion monsters on your hand. Second of all, Hulky 5Rex is banned a couple months ago, so having to rely mostly on your P.U.N.Ks and your Therion monsters for a combo is really crucial. But by far, we actually managed. So on our main deck, we are running with 3 copies of Ash Blossom and 3 copies of Max C, just for Max C for draw power, and you need to capitalize on people special summoning a lot in this current meta. The reason why I'm not running Nibiru or even a Cross Designator in this deck is because P.U.N.Ks can actually play through a Nibiru summon. Second of all, people nowadays, or most people nowadays, are not running Nibiru because of the sprites. Gigantic Sprite restricts people from actually using Nibiru during that turn. And by far, I keep winning with regards to this deck. For your P.U.N.K monsters, we are running with 3 copies of Sharkusai because this card can bring you to a Rising Carp, and then Rising Carp can get you to more P.U.N.Ks from your deck to your field. And second of all, if you watch my previous video with regards to the P.U.N.Ks, this card can actually synchro summon during your opponent's turn into Amazing Dragon. 2 copies of a Wagon just to bring out your field spell, and just having 1 field spell is enough. It's a really broken card as by far for the new P.U.N.K supports, and you need to capitalize on this broken card as well. Then we have 3 copies of Xiamin and then 1 copy of Madame Spider, since we're running with 1 copy of Dangerous Gabu. Xiamin is just to bring out your either Deer Note, your 3 copies, or 1 of the 3 copies for your Foxy Tune, and 1 of your 3 copies of your Ogre Dance. Now for the Therions. Now with regards to the Therion monsters, I don't want to exceed more than 5 copies of Therion monsters in this deck. You might be thinking, why am I actually using Duke rather than another or more copies with Regulus or Borea? Duke is not only a Therion monster at its own right, but it is a psychic monster also. So having to target one of the P.U.N.K monsters for an equip, and then special summon this to the field. And not only that, or on top of all that, this monster is a level 8 and a light monster also. So a perfect good target if ever you'll excavate this card from Chaos Ruler Excavate, or you can sync off to any level 11 synchro monster once this card is on the field. So that is a really good Therion card. 1 Borea just to bring out your field spell, and your field spell we have only 2 copies at best. By far, just 2 copies is a good ratio. 2 copies of Regulus, if ever you'll draw into 1 and you have an extra Therion monster in your graveyard, you can summon this card to the field. Here, backrow removal is Harpy's Weather Duster and 1 Lightning Storm. It's perfect. 2 copies of E-Tele, since we're moving with, or we are actually running with a ton of level 3 psychic monsters. 2 Call by the Graves, 3 Forbidden Droplets. Since we are running with a Therion deck, it's important that they are sent to the graveyard. And then 1 Dangerous Gabu. That's basically your main deck, guys. For your extra deck, we're running with 1 Rising Carp, a really good effect just to bring out your Deer Note, 1 Chaos Ruler just for an Excavate cards, and then bring out a Light or Dark. And also, this can be spell summoned to the field by removing or banishing 1 Light and Dark from the graveyard. 1 Dragon Drive, 2 copies of Amazing Dragon. Now, I tend to run 2 copies of this monster because you'll need this on your first turn just to set up a board. And second of all, if ever you're going for a bounce effect during your opponent's turn with the Sharkusai, you'll need a second copy. And then you'll have your level 11 Psychic and Punisher. Now this card is really broken at its own right as well. If ever you'll have this one on the board, just this card on the board. This card is an immovable mountain. As long as your life points is lower than your opponent, this card cannot be removed, cannot be destroyed, cannot be whatsoever. And if ever your opponent is going for an attack, just to lower his life points, this card can increase his attack by the difference of your life points and your opponent. On top of all that, you can use this card to banish 1 card of the field. It's really a good card. And then for your XZ monsters, we're running with the OTK package for number 100, 1 number 97, and number 38. For your level 3 XZ monster, you have your Cicada King that can negate a monster effect on the field. Your number 68, it kind of works like a Necro Valley. You don't need actually to spell summon monsters during your opponent's turn, so you have this one used at the end of your board. 1 copy of number 90 Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord. This card negates a monster effect. 1 copy of Ningirsu, sending 1 card from the field to the graveyard. 1 copy of Hieratic Sky Dragon Overlord. Any cards that targets your cards, you can negate that effect. And lastly, the Zombie Vampire. This card mills 4 cards from both of your decks. Whatever card you'll dump to the graveyard, you can spell summon to the field. So that is the deck profile, guys. Let's move towards the replays, and I'll showcase to you guys how fun this deck really is. Let's go. Alright guys, so here we are with the replays, and I have 4 replays for you guys today. So start it all off we have a starting hand of 1 Ziamin, 2 Ogre Dance, 1 Droplet, and 1 Disc Colosseum. Not the best of hand, but we can manage. We are going up against a branded Despia player. So our opponent is going to start off with Albion the effect, and then drawing 1 card. Use the effect of branded opening, getting a copy of Alibert to the field. Alibert will prompt its effect. Chain with HM Chain, getting Patchwork. I think Alibert, as usual, will get branded Diffusion. There we go. So we can't do anything because we don't have any hand traps at the moment. So he's free to move or do his combo. So one thing to take note about this gameplay that he did is he didn't use the effect of Mirror Jade to banish his Alibert just to get a copy of Branded in Red. So I was really hoping that he already has a copy because he got ad libitum out of the effect though. So there we go, Mirror Jade to the field, and that's basically his board. So we just need to punish him for that since he doesn't use the effect of Mirror Jade. On our turn, we got a copy of Droplet. Use the effect of this Colosseum, getting a copy of Boria. So at that point on, we know that he doesn't have any Ash Blossom. Use the effect of Droplet, sending our Boria to the grave, negating the effect of Mirror Jade. Use the effect of Ogre Dance, get a copy of Deer Note. Normal summoning our Ziamin, getting a copy of Foxy Tune. Now, I really want to save this Ogre Dance because we'll need this if ever some scenarios take place. We'll have Ogre Dance ready, and I'll showcase you guys why. So yeah, we go for Foxy Tune, pitching our Wagon to the field, getting our field spell. So like I said, since we have no use for the Disc Colosseum, we'll use the effect of the Extreme Session just to draw more cards. Effect of the Session, we banish 1 just to spell summon Deer Note. And then go for Jam Dragon Drive. Chain 1 Drive and chain 2 Deer Note, spell summoning the Foxy Tune from the graveyard. So at this point on, we got a copy of Sharkusai. With the field spell effect, we can draw 1 more card, getting a copy of Ziamin. We go for Amazing Dragon here. So in my mind, my attack isn't enough, and since we haven't actually summoned the Rising Carp, there's no means to end this game. But luckily, like I said earlier, we got Ogre Dance. There you go. The bounce is on effect. Use the effect of Ogre Dance. Go for an OTK. Drag Lubian to the field, and then number 100 for OTK. Bottom. So here we are, guys, with game number 2, and I'll showcase you guys how to establish a board if you're going first. So first of all, we have a starting hand of 1 Ash Blossom, 1 Madame Spider, 1 Regulus, 1 E-Tally, and 1 Lightning Storm. A really good card, really good starting hand, to be honest. So E-Tally first, spell summoning our Sharkusai to the field. Use Sharkusai's effect. Luckily, our opponent doesn't have any Maxi or Ash Blossom during the turn, so we're free to move. Rising Carp on the field, tribute itself, go for the Wagon and the Deer Note. Wagon will get the field spell will be activated, of course, and then we sync off into our Dragon Drive. Dragon Drive will use its effect, prompting the effect of the field spell, chaining with Deer Note, spell summoning the Madame Spider. Since Madame Spider hasn't used its effect yet, we can use its effect and then get a copy of our trap card. There we go. We drew into another copy of Regulus. Really good. So we got another draw, and we got a copy of Juke at this point on. So normal summon Ziamin, get a copy of Foxy Tune. Use the effect of Foxy Tune. Now I was really waiting to dump Juke, but yeah, we can just use Juke for effect for a synchro summon into Amazing Dragon. Now this is actually the setup part of the video. So Regulus is going to be summoned to the field. That's 1 negate on the board. And then the 2 level 3s is going to be XC summoned into Cicada King. 2nd negate on the board. Amazing Dragon will summon Foxy Tune from the grave. And then lastly, the 3rd negate on the board. So there we go. Set our Dangerous Gabu, and we have Ash Blossom on hand. So that's 4 negates. Really good board, but we got Lava Golem. Yeah, really sad. It's really sad. So our opponent is going to use Prosperity. We will Ash that one. And our opponent is actually using Eldlich. So basically a trap deck. Our Cicada King is useless. Our Dangerous Gabu is useless. But we can manage. For back rows, let's see. On our turn, we got a copy of Droplet. We use the effect of Amazing Dragon just to get up our Wagon. Our opponent is gonna use Skill Drain right here. Not really looking the best on our part, but yeah. Since he chained with a Punk, we will summon Jam Dragon Drive. And by sheer luck, our opponent activated the effect of There Can Be Only One. So the effect states here, each player can only control one monster of each type. So we have one Insect, one Fiend, one Sea Serpent, and then I'm gonna summon Jam Dragon Drive, which is a Psychic, and I'm gonna special summon Therion Regulus from my hand, which is a machine. So there we go. And I think we have more than lethal for this actually. Basically it. So game number 3, guys, and we have a good starting hand of 1 Maxi, 1 Sharkusei, 1 Foxy Tune, 1 Ogre Dance, and 1 Droplet. So let's go. Normal summoning our Sharkusei to the field since that's the only play we can do. We pitch in Rising Carp to the field, and then use the effect of Rising Carp for, like I said, Wagon always if you don't have a field spell, and then Deer Note. Our opponent is going to chain with Maxi, so on my mind, I said, this is going to be bad if he's going to get a ton of resources. So, what's the best way to actually do this is, since we're losing a ton of life points and we're giving him more cards, we'll just go towards level 11 Psychic End Puncher later on. So there we go. Level 11 Jam Dragon Drive. And that's the materials needed for Psychic End Puncher. So come forth, my Psychic End Punisher! There we go. And that's our end board. Not that much, but roughly this is really OP. And you can't just ram a level 3 Lila or Kill to this monster anyway. So Lila is going to be summoned to the field. We will chain with Maxi. There we go. Special summon Kill, and we just draw into the Nash Blossom. Perfect! So our opponent is going to set 2 back rows, and our turn we got a copy of Ogre Dance. Normal summoning our Ziamin. I really want to prompt the effect of the field spell, which we did. It doesn't really matter if we got Foxy Chun or not. But we got Effect Veiler. Regardless, it's fine. And since he chained with the effect of from my Punk monster, we will special summon Jam Dragon Drive. There we go. And the field spell is activated twice in that turn. Very OP, by the way. So by the way, guys, if you want to end the game there, just end it. At this point on, I'm just flexing. So I didn't use Harpies for the Duster. I didn't use anything just to be careful. So yeah, I almost lost this game. So don't be like me, guys. Don't be like me. Don't flex a lot. So Amazing Dragon to the field, returning 3 monsters, and then chain blocking it with Ziamin. But we got the Smasher. Banishing, he will banish my Amazing Dragon anyway, so might as well just use it for a Droplet. But yeah, not the best of effects, or not the best of targets, but yeah. So at this point on, I was thinking, oh dear, I'm almost out of resources. So I might as well just end the game here. Foxy Chun, pitch in Sarakusai, and then Ogre Dance to the field, and then we have enough for an OTK. Okay guys, so last game we're going first, and we're still going up against a branded Despia deck. So we have 1 Sharkusai, 1 Wagon, 1 Madame Spider, 1 E-Telly, and 1 Call Me the Grave. Let's start. E-Telly to the field, get a copy of Sharkusai, Dermal summoning our Wagon, getting our copy of our field spell. Field spell is going to be activated, and then Sharkusai will prop its effect. Or use its effect and then use the effect of the field spell. Rising Carp is going to be pitched. Draw into a Ziamin. Use the effect of Rising Carp. Pitch in a Deer Note and Ziamin. Getting a copy of Foxy Chun. Use the effect of the field spell. Draw into another copy of Call by the Grave. Really good. And then we go for a Dragon Drive to the field. Chain 1, Chain 2. Summoning our Rising Carp, and we go for an Amazing Dragon afterwards. So I really want to try just having a board with Amazing Dragon and Psychic and Punisher. So it went well actually, but it almost, well, cost me the game, but yeah, it went well. So yeah, Psychic and Punisher to the field in attack position since I'm very confident enough that I have the lowest life points. Set 2 back rows, and that's basically it. So like I said, our opponent is going to use Brand Despia. Allure is going to be used, banishing a copy of Mirror Courier. Mirror Courier is going to get a copy of Ecclesia. Albion will allow him to draw one more card. Spell summon Ecclesia, use the effect of Branded Opening, getting a copy of Tragedy. Now sadly we didn't draw into an Ash Blossom. It could be good, but yeah, regardless it's fine. So Tragedy is going to be sent to the graveyard from the deck. He will use the effect of Tragedy. I don't want him to normal summon an Alibert, so yeah, we go for Call by the Grave, banish that Tragedy. But Lobelion will use its effect though, so it's perfectly fine. Now I really wanted to use Call by the Grave onto an Albion, but yeah, the Ecclesia on the field is really intimidating. So Mirror is going to be on the field. Use the effect. He will use the effect of Ecclesia though, so I need to negate that one. He's gonna use my Amazing Dragon as a fodder. So in my mind, I really don't want to increase the life of my psychic or the attack of my Psychic and Punisher during this type of scenarios. But he normal summoned Tragedy and then ram it into my Psychic End, thus turning off the effect of Psychic End, banishing my Psychic End, and then attacking my Amazing Dragon. Banishing the sword, getting a copy of Mercurier, so we have one negate on hand, and then no banish. But I was really worried because he got a branded banishment, so my thought process says this is a branded red. So we'll try to play on that. On our turn, we got a copy of Ash Blossom, perfect timing. Foxy Tune is going to be activated, but he will chain with Mercurier, so that's one negate down. And then he will chain again with a branded banishment. I don't know why. So maybe he knows that I'm running with punks and they are all earth monsters. So yeah. Summon Alibert to the field and then fuse it off with Dragosepelia. Now this is actually a good card to counter punks, by the way, since it changes the level of one monster on the field. So I tried to use it on the effect of Jam Dragon Drive, but we got Call by the Grave. So I was really relaxed now since I'm confident enough to do my combo, knowing that is not a branded red. So there we go. Use the effect of the field spell summoning Arziamin, and since we haven't normal summoned yet, we're gonna capitalize on that. So since we use the effect, get a copy of or draw into Juke. Juke is going to be summoned to the field. And then like I said, Dragosepelia is really good. Effect of Ogre Dance, spell summon Ogre Dance to the field. Normal summoning our Madame Spider, get a copy of Dangerous Kaboo. Prompt the field spells effect, get a copy of another or Ogre Dance. And then we go for an Amazing Dragon. Now I can just bounce that card here, but yeah, we can just go for an OTK anyway. There we go. We have more than lethal for that matter. And then last attack. So that's basically it, guys. So that is the deck profile, and those are the replays, boys and girls. I hope you enjoy this kind of content, and like and subscribe for more contents like this in the future. So at this point on, we have a new festival, and hopefully we'll get to know that festival later on. Anyways, that's me signing off. Keep safe, good luck, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.